Hi everyone, Neko here with another recap. Today's show is called Kubo Won't Let Me Be Invisible, about a boy who is practically a background NPC but meets a popular girl who loves teasing him. I hope you enjoy it. Shiraishi is a young boy who unfortunately has the incredible ability to blend into the background, and he ends up being socially invisible to all his peers. He often finds himself reminding people of his existence, as they unknowingly come close to colliding with him while strolling along. Shiraishi has come to accept that he plays a minor role in the narrative of his own life, but among the few individuals capable of perceiving him effortlessly are his family and the stunning, popular classmate, Kubo. Kubo derives pleasure from teasing him, but is captivated by his inconspicuousness. She frequently tests the limits of his invisibility, and even made the startling discovery that not a single person noticed her sitting on Shiraishi's lap during class. Shiraishi remains uncertain whether Kubo is a friend, a tormentor, or simply using him as a source of amusement. Kubo endeavors to obtain Shiraishi's phone number but encounters interference from her friends, oblivious to Shiraishi's presence. During the weekend, while in the park, Kubo catches sight of Shiraishi and attempts to capture a selfie together. However, her camera fails to recognize his face, forcing her to sit very close to him just to get a picture together. Eventually, she manages to acquire his phone number. Unaccustomed to engaging in text conversations with others, Shiraishi feels taken aback when Kubo asks if they can spend time together. Meanwhile, Kubo's elder sister promptly senses Kubo's elation about something. Not knowing that Kubo is happy she finally got Shiraishi's number. The next day after their gym session, Kubo presents Shiraishi with a fragrant towel, secretly thrilled that they now share the same scent. Later, Shiraishi decides to go manga shopping but faces an obstacle at the shop's automated entrance, which fails to detect his presence. Observing his adorable frustration, Kubo steps in and opens the door for him. Spotting Shiraishi's favorite manga series, Kubo asks if she can borrow them. She retrieves the books and realizes that their homes are merely a 5-minute walk apart, prompting her to suggest they go to school together. The following morning, Kubo's sister, Akina, notices Kubo wearing perfume and playfully teases her about having a crush while also wishing her luck. Kubo feels a slight pang of disappointment when Shiraishi fails to notice the fragrance. When they meet up with their friends, Hazuki and Tama, neither of them notices Shiraishi until Kubo points him out. Unfortunately, Shiraishi's invisibility leads to an unfortunate incident where a passing car splashes him with a puddle. In need of a shower, Shiraishi returns home but realizes he has misplaced his key. Kubo kindly invites him to use her shower and borrow her gym tracksuit. Shiraishi awkwardly agrees, and Kubo even goes as far to wash his clothes for him, and throughout his entire journey back home, Shiraishi is acutely aware that he is wearing Kubo's clothes. Later at school, Kubo discovers that Shiraishi is merely an inch taller than her and playfully teases him, mentioning that in couples, the boy is typically 6 inches taller. The Kubo also doesn't care about their height difference. After school at the park, Kubo spots Shiraishi with his younger brother, Seda. Seda insists that they all share a drink, but Kubo notices that Shiraishi only pretends to take a sip. She correctly deduces that he feels embarrassed about the so-called indirect kiss situation. Later, Shiraishi expresses his desire to purchase a manga poster, but he feels embarrassed because the magazine containing the poster features a bikini model on its cover. Akina, who happens to be an employee at the store, sells the poster to him without realizing that he is Kubo's friend. Shiraishi is taken aback when Akina can see him, something he didn't expect. Akina notices that he dropped his student ID and hands it over to Kubo to return. In a lighthearted manner, Akina jokes about Shiraishi buying the magazine, and Kubo becomes worried about her own bust size. She later returns the student ID and Shiraishi fails to clear the misunderstanding between them. Later, Kubo makes plans to spend Christmas Eve with Shiraishi, going shopping together. Upon their arrival, Kubo surprises Shiraishi by revealing that she has bought him a gift. In a rush, Shiraishi hurries to buy her a gift as well and chooses gloves that match her outfit. However, Kubo feels somewhat embarrassed by the gift she receives from him, a bright yellow main character shirt intended to make him more noticeable or prominent. While playing with Seda, Kubo manages to capture a video of Shiraishi goofing around, which embarrasses him greatly. Unintentionally, Shiraishi wears mismatched socks to school, but only Kubo notices. In return, Shiraishi observes that Kubo is wearing tights, and Kubo playfully teases him for gazing at her legs. After school, Kubo takes Shiraishi to a specialty store to try a complex drink, insisting that she needs his assistance to ensure she doesn't make any mistakes with the order. She offers to share the drink, but Shiraishi declines, citing concerns about another indirect kiss. Instead, Kubo deliberately takes a bite of her snack before leaving. Before Shiraishi can make up his mind about accepting this new form of indirect kiss, someone accidentally bumps into him, causing him to drop the snack. Valentine's Day arrives, but Shiraishi remains unconcerned since he believes that girls never remember his existence. However, he discovers a chocolate heart on his desk. His initial instinct is to assume it was placed there by mistake. He briefly wonders if Kubo was behind it, but Kubo insists that it was a secret admirer, leaving Shiraishi puzzled as to who it could be. In reality, Kubo, notorious for her lack of culinary skills, had spent the entire night baking the heart-shaped chocolate, even enlisting Akina's help despite knowing that Akina would tease her for it. Shiraishi savors the chocolate heart but remains genuinely perplexed about its origin. Shiraishi typically enjoys his lunch in solitude, but one day Kubo joins him. Kubo suggests the idea of sharing their lunches. While Shiraishi manages to avoid her attempt to hand-feed him, he can't escape the need to hand-feed her in return, much to her evident delight. Kubo decides that next time, she will prepare something special to share with him. Hazuki and Tama are convinced that Kubo has developed a crush on Shiraishi. Tama, feeling disappointed because she finds Shiraishi unimpressive, receives a scolding from Kubo. Kubo reminds Tama that she doesn't truly know the real Shiraishi beyond his outward invisibility. The two friends come to the realization that this crush may be blossoming into something deeper, although Kubo herself remains unaware of it at the moment. The following day, Shiraishi arrives at school early, only to discover that Kubo had arrived even earlier. They end up sharing Shiraishi's chair while listening to each other's music. Observing Shiraishi's passion for manga, Kubo decides to watch his favorite anime movie. Akina, being aware of Kubo's intentions and motives, finds amusement in the situation. On White Day, Shiraishi purchases chocolates but is unsure who to give them to since his secret admirer remains anonymous. He decides to entrust the chocolates to Kubo, asking her to pass them on to his supposed admirer. Kubo teases him about it, subtly hinting that she might be the admirer, yet also leaving room for doubt, further confusing Shiraishi. While walking on the street, Shiraishi is taken aback when a young girl spots him, surprising him greatly. It turns out that the girl is Saki, Akina's cousin, which leads Shiraishi to realize that Akina, the shop assistant who sold him the magazine with the bikini model, is actually Kubo's sister. Akina playfully teases Shiraishi before they exchange contact numbers. Shiraishi suspects that Kubo's ability to see him might be a hereditary trait within her family. Akina returns home, armed with fresh material to tease Kubo about. As the exams draw near, Shiraishi's mother warns him that she will confiscate his games if he performs poorly. Kubo comes to his aid, assisting him in studying and proving to be an exceptional tutor. The following day, Shiraishi falls ill with a fever, but Kubo is the only one who notices his absence. She sends him a text message, but unfortunately, Seita, Shiraishi's younger brother, gets hold of his phone and responds with an I miss you emoji. Shiraishi hastily explains the situation, and Kubo playfully teases him by sending an emoji with the message lonely without you, claiming it was sent by Akina. The next day, Shiraishi arrives late to school, and coincidentally encounters Kubo in the hallway, who also happens to be unwell with a fever. He assists her to the infirmary, where she holds his hand until she falls asleep. It is at this moment that Shiraishi realizes, for the first time, that he truly feels like the protagonist of his own life story. Shiraishi successfully navigates his exams, all thanks to Kubo's dedicated tutoring. However, as they approach the next school year, there's a chance that they might be separated and placed in different classes. On a rainy day, Kubo persuades Shiraishi to share an umbrella with her, possibly to test if it would make him more visible. Shiraishi suspects that she simply wanted to walk alongside him. Akina spots them together, but chooses not to tease Kubo this time. Over the weekend, Shiraishi notices Saki struggling with heavy shopping bags and offers to help carry them, as Saki is preparing dinner for Akina and Kubo. Curious about their relationship, Saki asks Shiraishi to say Kubo's first name, Nagisa. From Kubo's reaction, Saki deduces that their bond goes beyond being mere classmates. During a moment of slacking off in class, Shiraishi accidentally loses the spring from his pen. Kubo intentionally gives him a rabbit toy pen that matches her own, bringing a smile to her face when he starts using it. During a sleepover, Kubo, Tama, and Hazuki discuss the impending class switch. They express their sadness at the possibility of being separated, and not being able to go on class trips or attend school events together. They also notice that Kubo is upset at the prospect of losing Shiraishi. The next day, Shiraishi and Seita unexpectedly come across Kubo, Saki, and Akina while they are out shopping. Seita becomes captivated by Saki's presence. After some teasing, Akina extends an invitation to a flower viewing picnic the following day. Kubo feels a strong urge to feed Shiraishi something she has prepared herself. Despite Saki's lack of fondness for Shiraishi, she assists Kubo in making Hamburg steak since Kubo's culinary attempts are still inedible. When Kubo accidentally cuts her finger, Saki takes over, but Akina encourages Kubo to learn from her mistake and try again. Eventually, they succeed in preparing the steaks to perfection. During the picnic, Seita eagerly tries all the dishes prepared by Saki. Kubo ensures that Shiraishi receives one of the steaks she made, and he finds it delicious, which brings happiness to Kubo. As the picnic progresses, Akina quickly becomes intoxicated, teasing Shiraishi about marriage and playfully teases him, but this causes Kubo to leave in anger. Seita insists that Shiraishi should resolve the situation, so he apologizes to Kubo. However, she remains upset. Kubo, unable to comprehend why she is angry at Shiraishi when it was Akina's fault, eventually realizes the depth of Shiraishi's distress. Moved by Seida's encouragement to make amends, Kubo apologizes to Shiraishi as well. Shiraishi acknowledges that Kubo often confuses him, but this admission brings joy to her. In a surprising turn of events, Kubo asks Shiraishi if he would like to be in her class the following year, leaving him astonished. As the second year begins, Shiraishi discovers that he and Kubo are once again placed in the same class, and to his pleasant surprise, they are seated next to each other. Kubo's friends, Hazuki and Temaho, also find themselves in the same class arrangement. Shiraishi realizes that he is genuinely looking forward to the upcoming year. Motivated by Shiraishi's revelation that he enjoyed the admiration he received for the flowers he grew, Kubo decides to join the environmental committee alongside him. Interestingly, Kubo notices that their new classmate, Sudo, actually remembers being on the environmental committee with Shiraishi the previous year. Kubo takes it upon herself to arrange for the three of them to be grouped together for science projects. Sudo had spent the entire first year trying to communicate with Shiraishi regarding committee matters, but had never once seen him. Thanks to Kubo's intervention, they finally have the opportunity to have their first conversation, which Shiraishi finds enjoyable. Grateful for Kubo's help, Shiraishi expresses his gratitude, unintentionally causing Kubo to become flustered. While walking home together, Shiraishi confirms to Kubo that they are now friends, slightly annoying her as she realizes that he hadn't considered them friends until recently, which she finds a little vexing. Kubo emerges victorious in a staring contest with Shiraishi, resulting in his forfeit. He must be the first to greet her in the morning. When Shiraishi unintentionally becomes covered in chalk dust due to his classmate's mishap, Kubo brushes it off his hair. She then playfully pressures him into confessing that he has a preference for girls with ponytails. Kubo notices that Shiraishi has grown taller, prompting her to suggest comparing their heights against a wall. However, this awkward positioning causes Shiraishi extreme embarrassment, causing him to flee. Unbeknownst to Shiraishi, Kubo was so flustered by the situation that her knees weakened. The following morning, Shiraishi surprises Kubo by greeting her first, which brings her happiness. Prior to their physical exams, Kubo borrows Shiraishi's tracksuit jacket, leaving him perplexed. It turns out that it has become a trend for girls to wear their boyfriend's jackets. Shiraishi has grown 3 centimeters taller, while Kubo has not experienced any growth. Akina comes across Shiraishi secretly following Seida, who is running his first errand to buy eggs independently. This reminds Akina of Kubo's own first errand to purchase eggs. As Seida returns home safely, Akina recollects how Kubo once broke the eggs but ceased crying when Akina lovingly stroked her head. Akina also drops a hint to Shiraishi, suggesting that Kubo still finds comfort in having her head stroked and that it is sure to calm her down if she becomes upset. Shiraishi is taken aback when Kubo asks him to watch a movie together, particularly when he sees her with her hair styled in a ponytail. In the cramped train, they are forced into close proximity, with Shiraishi contorting himself uncomfortably to avoid any accidental contact while enduring frequent bumps from oblivious passengers who cannot see him. Several guys attempt to flirt with Kubo, but she takes hold of Shiraishi, asserting that he is her boyfriend. Shiraishi notices that Kubo continues to hold onto his arm even after the guys depart. As they didn't pre-book their tickets, they must wait for a few hours to secure seats next to each other. While at a cafe, Kubo is astonished to discover that Shiraishi enjoys black coffee, and she stubbornly insists on trying it herself. Unable to handle the bitter taste, she requests Shiraishi to prepare a new cup with milk and sugar. However, he finds the altered flavor too sweet for his liking. During the movie, Kubo notices a wider range of emotions on Shiraishi's face than usual. He admits that he typically hides his expressions due to embarrassment, though Kubo believes he is still easy to read. While walking home together, Kubo persuades Shiraishi to promise to accompany her to other places in the future. Shiraishi becomes concerned about what secret emotions Kubo may have already detected from his facial expressions. After watching a popular personality test on television, Kubo decides to administer the test to Shiraishi, which reveals that he is likely to only love one woman throughout his life. In turn, Shiraishi conducts a different test on Kubo, uncovering her desire to have a large family with many children. Embarrassed by the result, Kubo leaves early from the gathering. Akina, observing Kubo's maturing nature, feels a sense of nostalgia for her own childhood memories. On Shiraishi's birthday, while lost in daydreams of cake, his stomach growls so loudly that the entire class takes notice. Finding it amusing, Kubo offers him birthday-themed chocolate to calm his rumbling stomach. Shiraishi is amazed that she remembered his birthday falls in April. Additionally, Kubo presents him with a soft toy, prompting him to awkwardly promise to get her a gift for her own birthday in August. The fact that someone actually remembered his birthday brings him immense happiness, causing him to hide his smiling face from Kubo's view. Shiraishi begins to genuinely question why only Kubo can easily see him. Kubo reminisces about how she first discovered his invisibility by coming across his photograph in Tama's middle school yearbook. Since then, she began seeing him all the time and found his invisibility amusing. When she was assigned the seat next to him and interacted with him for the first time, his reaction greatly amused her, leading her to make it a daily occurrence thereafter. And although Shiraishi's invisibly issue isn't solved, at least Kubo can be with him. And this is all for this video. Make sure to subscribe if you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one.